Hey guys, what is going on? Huxley here. And my apologies for not posting in a little bit. I've been busy with school and work, but we are back with a new video today. And today we are going to be sharing, or I'm going to be sharing, my personal top 5 licenses slash chapters that I would want to come to this game. We're doing this before the anniversary PTB comes out. I think it's on May 26th. So I'm very hopeful that one of these licenses do eventually make it to the game, because I do think these would fit perfectly well in Dead by Daylight and its vibe. And these are some of my favorite IPs ever, so it's going to be pretty exciting to eventually see these in the game if they do come. But without further ado, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. It would really be appreciated if we hit that mark. And if you guys want to watch me on Twitch, it would be in the about section of this video. Be sure to go check me out. And without further ado, let's get on that ball. Let's get this rolling. Now, we're going to start with 2 honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I want to mention, okay, is SCP. Now, SCP is one of my favorite franchises when it comes to like analog horror gaming, just horror games in general. I've been watching it ever since I was a kid. It's always fascinated me, and I do think it would be very cool in this video game. Now, the problem with this IP, though, and why I don't think it would ever come, is because nobody really owns it. It's one of those things that where it was mainly just made by the community. Obviously, there could be some license holders out there that do have the rights to some of these monsters, but I think the overall vibe for this, and why I didn't put it in the top 5, is because it's very unlikely, because Behavior doesn't really like going for licenses that aren't owned by anybody, per se. So it does make that a little tough to get into the game. Would I love to see this, though? Of course. There are so many possibilities and so many roads you could go down with this that it would be just cool. Like, it would be so cool to see in this game. I would be so excited if it ever came. You could go so many routes. You could do the Play Doctor. You could do Larry. You could do the tall, pale man. Like, there's so many routes you could go down. You could do the dogs. And the map would honestly be sick if it ever came. But because it doesn't really have a license holder, I'm going to have to put it as an honorable mention. And yeah, I really would love to see it in the game. Now for the second honorable mention, we got Left 4 Dead 2 Part 2. Left 4 Dead 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I love Left 4 Dead 2, Left 4 Dead 1 as well. The Left 4 Dead series is just amazing. Now we do already have Bill in the game, which is why I say Part 2. And we do have sort of skins, I guess, for Ellis and all those other characters that were also a part of the crew. Those are obviously for like Dwight, Claudette, you know, stuff like that. But that was a survivor-only chapter. And the problem with that is that Valve allowed us to use Bill as long as we don't make money on it, which is why he became a free character. And that's kind of the issue. I don't think they would ever make a full Left 4 Dead chapter with a special infected, as well as a new survivor, because we're not allowed to make money off of it. Which is kind of the issue on the license in general, and it's probably the reason why Bill hasn't really gotten many skins, because there's no value out of it. Now I do understand not wasting time on something that's not going to make you money. I get it, especially if it's a full chapter like that. But the fact that we got anything for Bill in the past year, because I'm pretty sure Bill got an anniversary skin, was pretty hype in general. But because of that, that's kind of the reason I don't really see this license really coming through. It's just not going to make them profit, because I don't think Valve allows them to profit off of Left 4 Dead stuff. But it would definitely be cool if we got like a Smoker Deathslinger skin, if we got like Tank as the killer, or Witch. It would just make me like super happy if we ever got this stuff. And it's sad that I don't think this will ever come back ever again. But moving on to our number 5, we got a two-way tie. Two-way tie to some of my favorite licenses, and honestly some that were talked about for a little bit, to coming to this game, with one of them being a pretty close contribution to getting added into the game. Like, and those two have to go to The Conjuring and Amnesia. You can do any Amnesia game. I'm just talking about base Amnesia, The Dark Descent, because they both involve the same similar monsters. But let's start off with The Conjuring. Now, The Conjuring was in a lot of polls and forums for this game. That is a license that I definitely can see happening in the future. as like definitely pulling from the movies. You could pull the two survivors from the movies. Obviously, you could have the nun as the killer. I don't know what power you would give her. That's up to obviously the game devs, but and you could definitely do the house from the movie as well. This license is definitely the most, I guess, compatible from the ones I've named so far. Um, and it's definitely the most likely. I could definitely see this license being super likely and definitely coming to the game in the next couple years. And now for Amnesia. Amnesia is a childhood horror game. Honestly, one of my first horror games I've ever played. I always used to watch old YouTubers play it as well. It's definitely a childhood horror game that doesn't really get talked about much often anymore. But I would definitely love to see it come back in the form of Dead by Daylight. You could definitely do something with the sanity mechanic to survivors. I just think the overall concept could definitely be sick. You could do the castle that the main character is in. It would be sick. Like it would definitely be one of the coolest themed chapters in all of Dead by Daylight. And obviously the killer, you could do one of the grunts. I would probably just do the default grunt that you normally see. Obviously there's different grunts that you could probably do for skins. That could also be cool. Again, so many possibilities. And I definitely have to put this at number 5 because the other licenses like after it do definitely have my heart more, and I do want to see in this game. But yeah, definitely those two. That's why I put those as a two-way tie. I wouldn't mind those two licenses coming to the game, but those two are definitely not my top 4. Now for my number 4 spot, this one could be possible, considering there is a movie coming out soon about it. So maybe Behavior might get inspiration from it. The Backrooms. Now I do find this in kind of the similar boat as Left 4 Dead, in the way, or not Left 4 Dead, in the similar way of as SCP, in the way where nobody really owns the Backrooms normally, but because of the movie coming out, that means they could probably pull stuff from the movie and add it into the game. Obviously, that could be a route that Behavior goes in. It could definitely get a hold of the license holders or whoever has the rights to the movie that they're making, and definitely pull stuff from that movie into the game. That is the reason I put them this high, is because that is a possible way to possibly get this in Dead by Daylight. And if this ever did come to Dead by Daylight, that would be like, people would lose their shit. Like this would be crazy. There's so many things you could do. Like you could use the party goers, you could use the smilers. I've been a big fan of the Backrooms for a little bit. It's definitely a cool franchise, and I definitely do think it would be cool if the trailer was just Dwight getting lost. And then getting eventually just killed by one of the monsters. I think that would be sick. But yeah, I would definitely have to put that at my number 4 spot, because the first 3 that I have on here are complete slappers. And I would love to see the Backrooms in maybe one of these days. I could only hope. Now number 3, we have The Evil Within. Probably one of the most, I don't want to say underrated because it is rated pretty well, but I think it's a little underrated. This is one of my favorite games ever. Like this game, an amazing horror game. I'm not talking about the shitty second one. I'm talking about the first one. The classic first one with Sebastian going through the asylum, fighting all these monsters, fighting the spider lady, fighting the keeper. It's a sick game. Like it really is. And the fact that it came out, I think in 2013, and it still looks good to this day it's just out of this world. I think this chapter would be a perfect fit, and it would be a sick anniversary license. There's so many possibilities you could do. Like I said, there's so many monsters in the game that you could do either skins for, or you can make the main killer. I personally would want the Keeper. He is one of the main villains slash antagonists in the game. He has a safe as a head, and he does have traps and a giant hammer as his melee weapon. So honestly, he could definitely fit pretty well into this game. It would not be bad at all. Like you could definitely do something with his trap power, with his barbed wire stuff. And the map could also be sick. It could also be his hideout from the game, or you can make the map the giant asylum. And obviously the survivors can be Sebastian, and it could be his rookie detectives as well, that are his sidekicks in the game. I just think, I don't know, it would be sick, dude. There's so many possibilities you could do. And if this was the anniversary chapter, I think I would lose my shit. But these next two licenses, though, I definitely would like seeing more than the Evil Fin. So let's move on to the next one. For number 2, okay, this was tough between number 2 and number 1. Number 2, I have BioShock. I am a massive BioShock fan. I think I've wanted BioShock in this game forever. I'm hoping one of these anniversaries we do get it, because I think it would be like people would lose their mind. I would lose my mind. This would be one of the coolest licenses we've had in years. The map could be sick. You could do the map full. You could do one of the layouts of Rapture, one of the parts of Rapture. You could do Medical Pavilion. You could do Fort Frolic, which is like the casino area. There's so many possibilities. For the killer, you could either use the Rosie model with the rivet gun, or you could use just the normal bouncer with the little sister on top. Like, there's so many possibilities you could do. It would be cool if there was like a little sister slash plasmid mechanic that they can maybe put into the game. Maybe little sisters could give you power, and you can gain certain plasmid powers. I don't know. I have so many good ideas for this, but obviously we could save that for another video. I just think this license needs to come to the game. It was definitely on the forum that they posted, I think, a couple months ago, and I did vote for it. Overall, it's just a sick license that definitely is highly requested, and definitely deserves my number 2 spot when it comes to licenses. Now, for number 1, my number 1 license of all time that I would love to see in this game, and so many possibilities, especially if you are a fan, and I think you obviously see it on the screen right now, it would have to be the Outlast Trials or Outlast 1. I am not picky, just do not put Outlast 2 in this game. I was not a big fan of that game. I don't want Outlast 2. It would be cool as a skin. It would be cool for some skins, but I think we should stick with Outlast 1 or the Outlast Trials. Now, Outlast 1 would be sick because you could do the main big dude that is in that game easily as a killer. He could be his own standalone killer. Or you could use the doctor that's also a villain in that game with the giant pair of scissors as a killer as well. But the map could also be super easy to lay out. It could just be Mount Massive Asylum. Maybe just different parts of the asylum in general. I definitely wouldn't mind that if they went down the Outlast 1 route. Or you could go down the Outlast Trials route, which is the one I'm kind of hoping they do, because there's so many possibilities. There's so many maps in the Outlast Trial that you could pull from. It would be cool if you could just combine. It would be cool if they just combined like 4 Outlast Trial, I guess, trial environments, combine them together, so it all blends into well into like one map. I think that would be sick. Obviously, you could use the Regent as like an original survivor for that, or you could use the main character. I think his name was Miles Upshur from the first game as a survivor, and the skins could be endless for killers as well. You can make Mother Goose. If you're a fan of the Outlast Trials, you know what I'm talking about. You could use Mother Gooseberry as a killer. She could be her own standalone killer, and then you can make maybe like Coil a doctor's skin. You can make Franco a Deathslinger skin. Like, let me cook. Let me cook. Like, they gotta put me on this dev team. I swear. Like, this chapter needs to come. And the best part about this chapter, though, is that Red Barrel straight up said that they are totally down with having Outlast in Dead by Daylight, and that the ball is in Behavior's court. So, Behavior, if you somehow stumble across this video, please, I will give up my left pinky toe, for Outlast to be in this game, man. Just please. That is definitely my top requested license. I think it fits in so well. The horror theme fits in so well. There's so much potential for skins. Don't get me wrong, you would, if this ever came to the game, they would take all my money. There would be no competition. Like, hands down. But yeah, those are definitely my top 5 licenses, plus honorable mentions, that I would love to see in this game. I already know what some of the comments are probably going to say. They're probably going to ask, what about Jason? I think Jason would be sick in this game. I wouldn't mind him at all. I just have, I don't know, the hype over the years has just died out, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Don't get me wrong, I love Jason Voorhees. I love Friday the 13th. I just would rather have these other licenses over that at the moment. I understand Jason needs to come to the game. It's like required by law. and he definitely will come. It's just a matter of time, you know? Which is why I'm not really hoping for it, because I already know it's going to come to the game. Like, it's just a matter of time. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for 50 subscribers. I appreciate it. I love all of you guys. And, you know, together we're growing a community, man. If you guys ever want to see me play the Outlast Trials or Dead by Daylight on stream, you guys can check me out on Twitch in the About section below. And I will see you guys later. Peace out, guys.